Hey folks, it's Gail from Seattle Coffee Gear, and I'm doing a comparison today. It isn't very often that we do a comparison between something like the Mignon from Eureka and the Compak K3 Touch from Compak, but that's what I'm doing today. They're kind of in the same ballpark as far as price goes, and they also have some similar features and some dissimilar features, so I'm going to go over all of that. The Compak, while it is approximately the same millimeters, it's 58 millimeter flat hardened steel burrs. This is the 55, but we'll get into that. 58, it holds 8 ounces of beans. It is infinite, although this just goes around and there's a stop. So you can only make one rotation and then it stops. You would have to take that stop screw out to make it go any further. So it's stepless within the one rotation realm of things. It also is a little bit taller than the Mignon. It is like 16 inches tall almost. So that's a little bit taller, and I don't think you're going to get a bean hopper that's any shorter than this. It has the bean hopper with the shut-off valve, which is nice. Always like that. It comes right off so that you can change the beans if you want, clean things out. It has timing. Over here is the on-off button, and opposite over here is either timed to the back or manual. And when you have it on time, you can actually adjust the time right here in the front. There's a limit, of course. These are the 2 forks that hold the portafilter. This is the what would I call it? Actuator. It's the button that makes everything happen. And it also has a portafilter clip up here which catches the top of the portafilter so you don't have to hold it, which is kind of nice. And then if you want it to grind, you just hit the button. On she comes. So that's how that works. Also has a grounds catcher right down here. So for the mess, you can take this and dump it. Doink doink. Let's see, what else can I say about it? Aluminum casing, and it comes in a couple of different colors. This is the red, obviously. So that is the Compak K3, the basics of it, and of course there's more stats on our website. Much taller is one big difference. So let's take a look at the Mignon Specialita. This machine is fairly new to the market in the Mignon lineup. This has a electronic timer control right here on the front. So right now we've got it on the double shot, and we have it timed for 10.5 seconds. I can change it to 6, 7, 8. I can make it whatever I want. And this is the control for the grind, and it's infinite. So the range on this machine is from what I would call a pour over to coarse pour over, coarse drip, down to a very fine espresso. On the Compak, it goes from an actual French press down to espresso as well. And I'll show those in depth a little bit in a minute. On the Specialita, it has the on and off button right here on the side. It has a 12-ounce bean hopper with the shut-off valve as well, so that you can take this off. Whoopsie! You got to shut it first. You know, how many times have I done that before? Let's just get rid of that so we can put the lid back on. I know, you guys are going to have a heyday with that one, right? I think sometimes I do that stuff on purpose so I give you something to talk about. It has also a rest for your portafilter. And then to actuate it, there's a button right back here. You push with the portafilter and on she comes. Let's go to the single. There we go. I've got that way up coarse right now because I was testing it. It also has the pause feature. As you can see right now, I'm going to dump that. That's paused, and now I shake it down. I want to resume. I just hit it again, and it resumes, and it finishes off the time. Okay. The Compak does not have the that pause feature. I think that's a really nice feature. If you're doing espresso, you get this mound, Mount Everest in the middle, and if you can stop midway and shake it down and then start over. You have a more consistent distribution of your ground coffee in your portafilter. So that's a good feature. And the timing on this one isn't going to be quite as exact because here you have the digital to work with. This one is kind of your trial and error. So smaller casing. This is about 13 inches tall. Infinite up here. You can go from a, like I said, a coarse drip or pour over down to a really fine espresso. Nice looking casing. It's got a combination of the color plus stainless on the side. The Compak is the color all the way around. So let's see, what else can we say about these machines? The rest on both of these is adjustable with a screw so that you can adjust it for your portafilter, because not all portafilters are created equal. You might have a 58, but your 58 might not be like the other manufacturer's 58. Let's look at these a little bit. Again, I got a couple of beans in here, but so what, right? Like I said, the coarseness is at a pour over or a coarse drip, really coarse drip, Specialita, something like that, or a Chemex. I found it at this level to be fairly consistent. Then it goes down to the drip, and it's very consistent. And the espresso, it does have some clumping, although there's an anti-clumping device up in the chute, which gets rid of some of the clumping. But I've got this thing down much finer than you would probably ever use it. It's almost down to a Turkish level. As you take it up and make it a little bit coarser, I don't think you'll see nearly as much clumping. On the Compak, French press is pretty inconsistent, I'd say. As you get down to the drip level or pour over, it gets more consistent. I would say I think that's a little more consistent than Mignon. And then the clumping on this one, this is right down there at that Turkish level as well. Maybe just a little bit coarser, but not a lot than that one. And I think the clumping is a little bit worse. So I think they're both good grinders. Just little differences if you're picking out. The height is a con on this one, and there's not much you can do about it. The shortness and the bean hopper holds a little bit more on the Mignon, so I think that's a better choice if space is of an issue in your kitchen. And when I know a lot of people live in the cities, and it is an issue. They're both going to be similar as far as burr set goes. The other thing that you find with any of the Mignons or the Eureka grinders is when you take this apart to clean it and you take the lid off, the top burr comes off. When you put that back on, it's the bottom burr that adjusts up and down when you're making the changes there. So when you put that burr back on, it's going to be right back where it was. So you're not going to have to go through a lot of work to dial that machine back in. On this machine, when you take the top burr off to clean it, it unscrews. And that's what makes the adjustment because it's attached to this. So you will be dialing that back in. So pros and cons to both of them. Check them out on our website, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. And we value each and every one of you folks out there that leaves comments and that subscribes. More stats on our website. Call us if you need more information, or email in to us. Thanks a lot for watching.